Today, I'm going to go over knife sharpening a little bit. It's something a lot of people, that outdoorsy, survival, fighting, anything, knives are great utilities to have, but not a lot of people are good at sharpening. I'm no master at it myself. Just you have at it until you try or until you get better. Watching some videos, I was looking for a better whetstone, and an individual that I watch, is like outdoorsman. He does a lot of knife reviews, and he did this, and it looked great. And he found that no matter I'll show this how thick this is, but the diamond doesn't come off. Because one thing with like the tumbler sharpeners, those roll wheels, unless you get the Horl, the original German one, that's like $200. The diamond grit comes off after a few uses, so it's not usable after that. This is a company called Sharpening, and I'll try to put this in a link. They have a coarse 325 side here, and this is for fine tuning 1200 disc, so it's a dual. And like I said, the individual that I saw do review on this, he even put it on the microscope after sharpening like a few knives, and saw that he did not lose any of the diamond grit. It stayed. This is a nice heavy case set with rubber feet that will go on, so you use this as the base also. So you just kind of set this in here, and it clicks in, so it'll hold steady. They also give you a leather strap. Leather straps are important. A lot of people don't realize how important these are, because sometimes your knife isn't dull. When you sharpen a blade, you're refining it. Here's a marine K-bar knife we'll be doing. But when you sharpen a knife, you can have the edge, but you have little burrs, and they roll over. And that's what it can feel dull, but it's not really dull. It's just those burrs need to be removed. And that's what a leather strap does. So we'll go over that. And then what you also need to do is know the angle that your knife is meant for. This is a bevel gauge. This is or a bevel wheel. Different manufacturers have it. This particular one is Richard Kell. And what you do is you take your blade here. You can see it's got this, and you put it in there and see which one it fits in. Now this one is 15 degrees. 15, it could be 14, 14 and a half, but it kind of fits in there because this just kind of varies by who you get these from. Because like some people say it's 14 degrees because I got a little angle finder here that's 14 for helping you sharp, but this says 15, so probably give or take a little on the tolerances. The K-bar, I believe they're at 17, so let's see. Yeah, so see the K-bar fits in at the 17.5 degree angle. So what that means is your angle to the stone, and this is where the hard part is. A lot of people don't realize that, and it's hard keeping it. And if you don't sharpen day in, day out, gauging that angle and holding that angle as you go through. And so that's why it's important to know that, though, because you'll be working against yourself if you're working against a different edge. You can't just go flat like this, because that wouldn't be the correct angle, and you'll be working all day trying to get sharpen it. The only thing that's really that flat that I've seen is the straight razors. I use a straight razor on my neck. It keeps me from getting razor burn. But anyways, so there's some other little items. The Sharpening came with this little disc here, or square guy. You put it there. So I'm going to the 14 on this since the Benchmade. This is a Benchmade I got in the military. This is at 14, which is pretty close. See, so you just kind of do that, and you can push away. Now, there's always an internal debate: do you push or pull on it? That same individual I watched, he had done microscope analysis. It doesn't make a difference on the preference. Forwards, backwards, it still grinds away the metal and thins it out the way you want it to be for sharp. So it's just, you want to go backwards, you want to go forwards, it's up to you. The big thing is to keep consistency on your angle when you're doing it, and even when you get to the edge, because a lot of times when you get to the edge, you kind of speed up, or you're naturally will drop down and push. So that's just the big important thing, is keeping it consistent and against this, and then not speeding up to lose where you'll be sharp down here but not up here. Another thing, contrary to belief, I grew up, I'm sure many people heard this, cutting paper dulls a knife. That isn't true. It's steel against paper. It is a good sharpness test. So I was playing around a little bit here earlier, and we can see this is fairly sharp as it is. It's not dull. So I just wanted to make it a little sharper. And then same thing with the K-bar. Not bad. It could be better. It did tear a little bit, but it did slice. So I want to just get these a little more sharp, especially the practice, because one of the other reasons I did get this is for my straight razor. I want to practice on these before I work on that, because I use that on my neck versus these are just utilities. And so if these aren't as sharp as I want them to be, it's not a big deal. The purpose of having a nice straight razor is to keep it super sharp so you don't get ingrown hairs and a nice smooth shave. So better practice on a utility knife than it would be something you use on your face. This is a clay stone to put on the strap to help polish the blade. We'll do some of that later. These are some other angle guides I've gotten in the past. See, this is a 15 degree and this is a 17.5 degree right here. And the same principle as this. You put it there and you put your blade on. And if you can keep consistent, here, this one's also, so you just go across. Or if you can keep it, you keep slow. One thing is good to try to keep your elbows and arms locked and just push forward kind of with your shoulders. The edge I will have to do a little bit different just because of the length of this blade. We're just doing some swipes. I'm going to come to this side, do the same thing. And again, I am not a master sharpener by any means. I have spent hours on whetstones, like actual whetstones, the ones that you have to soak in water. That is a benefit to this. It's a little cleaner. The ones you soak in water just make a big mess, and you got to soak the stone for, I think it was an hour at minimum. As it dries out, you got to do it again, and it's real messy. So that's also why I was looking at this, because you don't get much coming off of it. I mean, I got a little debris that's more so from this blade than it is the stone. So let's see if just a couple swipes made it sharper or not. Yeah, that did just a couple swipes. So that's not bad. That's pretty good. I can feel it sharper there too. I will work on this tip. I'm going to start right here. The tip, like I said earlier, tips are a little harder. You got to maintain. You can do shorter throws to stay on track. Yeah, there we go. So I'm not going to polish currently. The idea is you take this, you get to where your strap is green, especially since this is already powder coated a color. It will help polish it, give it a nice shiny finish, and it just further refines your edge. But I'm not going to do that. But we are going to do the strap. Now the strap, we're going to do the same angle that we sharpened at. So we put it on here. Now this I have kind of seen, it is better to go backwards with the strap because you're removing the burrs versus the sharpening. So I got that there, and I'll just go, sorry, get it on here so it doesn't slide as much. So I got my angle there, and I'm just pulling backwards. I can keep that on there. There's a rubber band to help keep this. I've never got the rubber band to stick really well. Just kind of put my finger here. And then we're going to go on this side. And like I said, what we're doing is removing any burrs that came. And the burrs will make it feel less sharp because it's just loose metal that's bent over. Okay. Like I said, people do that a lot quicker than I do. I can feel a difference on the blade. Let's see if it's any better after. Yeah. Oh, that was me moving the paper. I'm not great at holding it. But you see right there, just size is really nice. I can feel it quite a bit sharper. The reason I went with this, I told you it may be 14.5 or 15. I did put the 15 or the 14 from the companies on there instead of the 15. You can kind of see there, it did kind of scratch the finish a little bit. Now, this is a daily use knife, so I'm not real concerned on losing that finish. But if you're hitting that, that means your angle is incorrect. You're too low because you don't want to get this part of the blade scratching. You just want the part of the blade that that is used. So that's why I went ahead and used this guy. There's this one is from angleguide.com, funny enough. And like I said, I forget how to make it work, but Just has this rubber band. It's supposed to wrap it around a bit and it stays on the blade so you can go back and forth. But last time I tried that, when I actually did look at the instruction, I kept rolling it off and cutting it off. So, but not too bad. This does seem pretty good. It sharpened up fairly well. But this is, like I said, this is a Benchmade. When I went TDY out in Nellis Air Force Base, the shop N2IC got this to me as a gift for a lot of the work I'd done for them. So I like it. I think this is like a $240 knife when I went to the 511 store. Really nice. It's an assisted opening knife. It has a lock right here, so you can't actually close it when you have it open. But also, the nice thing about it is you lock that so you don't accidentally open it in your pocket. Really, really, really nice knife for daily carry, for usage. Love it. Like I said, it was a nice gift from the N2IC at Nellis. Then here's the K-bar. This is a Marine knife, but it's still, just because it's Marine doesn't mean not everyone can use it. It's just, this is what their bladed weapon is, or bladed weapon issue knife. A lot of people love these. They're really famous, but they're just good to have for if you're going out in the woods, any kind of hiking or any of that. This is just, it's a really proven, solid knife. I'll go ahead and sharpen this. I'm not going to bore you guys sharpening two knives. It's not real fun watching that, but I just wanted to go over just to show with this guy that there are different angles of sharpening and what you can get. And like I said, with this sharp pearl sharpener, you see it's got a nice heavy base, so this wasn't sliding. And then that we did get better results on paper cutting before and after. You can kind of see this is my test one. It kind of gave out lower for both knives, and you see we went quite a bit with a lot less effort on there after just a few swipes. Some people sharpen for a few minutes. For video's sake, I had just done a few swipes. I will later do it just because I want my knife edge even sharper. But again, just to show you guys how it works and a little tips on sharpening. There's a million tips on sharpening, different ways. By no means is mine definitive. There's plenty of critique, and I'm sure in comments someone say that's awful. You just do kind of what works for you, and just the big thing is make sure you hold that angle so you're not fighting against the blade itself on keeping it sharp. So that's it for that. You guys have any questions? Like I said, I will try to find these links if you guys are interested. I don't get any monetary thing from it. It's just for you guys to find so you can have tools to sharpen your blades and be more efficient and better prepared. Okay, so I kind of wanted to show how this stone works easy for someone that's never sharpened knives. Gaby never sharpens knives. She uses knives. I have to sharpen everything. So we're also going to teach her to do it so she can sharpen her own blades. So we got the 17 degree. That's what we found on here. So we got the 17 degree block. And then just put it there and go forward. Keep that angle. Keep your wrist and elbows locked. There you go. So I'm just having her do a few swipes, and you can see that with this, she just kind of do it between the whetstone being nice and easy to use and the angle finder. There you go. Get down like that. And that just holds the angle. Keep those wrists and elbows locked. And there you go. So just so you can see how even for someone that's never sharpened a knife, these angle finders help tremendously. There's people you'll watch on YouTube that can guess the angle because they sharpen so many knives. They'll just sit there and it'll be the same angle if you put a finder on there. I'm not that proficient. Obviously, Gaby's not. But I just want to show that these little blocks do help even for someone that's never done it before. And it will help you get a useful edge on your blade. So just want to add it to that. And like I said, we will try to find these links to where I bought these, because these, I think this was only $30 even, which is really good for a nice solid diamond whetstone. So, all right, guys, we'll see you next time.